like you said, this is not like me, so y'all just bear with me. But anyway, I've struggled about what to say because he had asked me a few times, you think about it sometime and whenever you feel comfortable. And I would say, God, what would you have me say? What would you have, would it be about our lives or my past? Or there's so much, that we all could share about ourselves. And so this past week, when I asked him if he had anybody, and he said no, God had just kind of put in my heart to talk about forgiveness. And forgiveness has been so huge in my life and things that have happened to me, people that I've had to forgive, and most of all, when I've needed forgiveness from other people. So it's just a really strong subject. And if you are in bondage and you have unforgiveness today, I just pray that God will use me to help enlighten you and to learn something about this. And it will probably be only 10 minutes or less. But I am honored to stand here today, and I'm just so thankful for this church and for Doug and for what God has called him to do and the way he carries it out. And just love all of you guys so much, and it's just we're just honored and humbled that you choose to come here to worship with us. Let's see. As I look for definitions of forgiveness, I thought, I don't want to go to Webster's or whatever. But I looked at some quotes from like several ministers, and one that really stood out to me, I told this, was from Joyce Meyer. And really listen to the words of this. Forgiveness is manifested mercy. It is love in action. Not love based on a feeling, because if it was based on a feeling, would we do it? No. But it's based on a decision. You have to choose to forgive. And it's also an intentional choice to obey God. Because what if he didn't forgive us? I mean, obviously, we know where we would be. But years ago, somebody really, really did me wrong. And I know you've all been done wrong. But there's different levels of that. I'm sure y'all would agree. Some things seem smaller than others. Well, this is pretty big. And I just hated this person. And this was since we've been in ministry. And I was like, God, I can't feel like this and be effective and do things for you and your kingdom. You have got to help me. But when I would see this person, I would just want to slap her. And I did not want to feel that way. That was not me. That was not, because anybody that knows me, and Moni can vouch for this, because she's tried to help me come out of it. I am non-confrontational. I don't like it. I'd rather just let it go. It's okay, and all that good stuff. But sometimes you just can't do that. You have to face things head on and just deal with it. And so I did not feel like forgiving this person. I knew I had to. I didn't know how to do it. But I did know that if I would start praying for her, I hoped that if I start praying for her, that my heart would change. Excuse me. So I made the decision, and obviously it was not based on an emotion. And it was one of the hardest decisions I've had to make. And it was so painful, because our flesh man loves to just stay in it and just, can you believe she did that, and just keep hashing it over and all that stupid stuff. But our spirit man, when you're born again, you have to rise above it. You have to. It's a choice you just need to make, because if you don't, how can you pray for healing? How can you pray for anything else in your life if you have unforgiveness? And so I knew that. So that was the first thing in my head. I thought, I got to make this decision. And I did. And I thought at times I needed forgiveness. And so that kind of helped me out too, because I've not always been an angel myself. And I thought, God, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to trust you because I know that this is what I need to do. And so let's read Ephesians 4:32. Actually, 31 and 32. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. So, wow, those two verses, they just say so much. But you have to have a prayerful attitude and expect God to work on you in this area, because that old flesh is determined. With spiritual warfare, and your flesh and your spirit, they war against each other. And those thoughts creep back in, and you start feeling disheartened again, and you just have to constantly remind yourself and go to the Word to keep on the right path. I'm not even doing half these notes, but that's good. And God will give us the grace to forgive. And it's literally a matter of just praying. And guess what? One day I woke up, and He had changed my heart. And it was one morning I woke up and thought, I'm not mad at her anymore. And I was just wanted to just shout, because I thought, it worked. This Bible worked. And I don't know why I was surprised, but I was surprised because I knew how stubborn and hard-headed I was. And I thought, I'm going to try this. And God knew my heart, and I'm just so thankful that He changed it for me. But before I had that revelation of, thank you, I'm not mad at her anymore, I can actually love her now. Your feelings have to catch up with your decision, because I did not have those feelings at all, because I was like, I don't want to pray for her, But anyway, I did, and everything's good now. And we have to have the ability to live above and beyond those feelings. We can't live off of feelings, and we can't have a chip on our shoulder, and we can't, we need to just always try to, go above and be the better man. And praying for them is the hardest thing to do. It was just really hard. So let's read Matthew 5:44. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. And that just is so opposite of what we want to do, isn't it? But you won't lose by doing it. And I'm sure a lot of you have done the same thing I've done, and you've risen above and had your heart changed against certain people or situations, but it does work every time. Like I said, it's not easy, but it works. And then Romans 12:21. It's short, but it's a great verse. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. Do something nice for them. Give the devil a black eye. Just really go above and beyond. And send a card. Buy a gift. Once you make the decision to forgive, it's over. Whatever it was is over. You're free. You're not in that bondage anymore. There's nothing to debate anymore because you've forgiven. And so that's the end of it. So, that's just such a victory. And the best thing is it gives the devil a black eye. And it shows that person, just what a testimony. Especially when they know what they did, and you still extend grace and forgiveness to them and love them. Because, folks, we're all human, and we're all going to need forgiveness. And so we can never judge somebody or look down our noses at somebody, because we're not perfect, none of us. And so we're going to need that forgiveness sooner or later, no matter how small or big, the problem may be. But God will help us get through it. And I think when we extend that forgiveness to other people, that they will extend it. What an example and testimony we can be in that area. And then the last thing I was just going to kind of touch on is, it is a big choice, but I'm telling you, if you'll do it, it gives you true joy. It gives you freedom. It just takes such a load off of you to forgive and just to be a forgiving person. And God enables us to do that and to break that yoke and to do the right thing. And it will take you to a whole new level and you will see things in such different eyes, and it just makes you such a better Christian and a better person, a better friend. And I just thank God for, the times I have failed and I needed huge forgiveness. I mean, I'm telling you, it's made it easy for me to extend forgiveness to others because I think, wow, they forgave me. I had somebody forgive me for something really, really big one time. She didn't have to do that. And I still think today, whenever I'm with her, I think, thank you, God, that she forgave me. So, anyway, that's pretty much all I had to say today. I love you guys, and thank you.